Hi folks, how you doing? This is Iqbal with NVIDIA Daily Analysis. In this video, we will discuss NVIDIA stock price movement for today and we'll try to make an assessment for rest of the week using technical charts and fundamentals. We'll also talk about the PPI data that got released today and the CPI data that's gonna be released tomorrow and its impact on the overall market. Now, let's get started. You see NVIDIA stock chart for today on your screen. NVIDIA opened at 895. It made a high 916. It made a low 889 and it closed at 913. That is 1.06% up. So it's good to see NVIDIA went up today as well. It's 2 days in a row. NVIDIA did positive closing yesterday and today. And this is perfectly aligned with our yesterday expectation. I mentioned you guys that if the PPI data comes lower or just meets the forecast, and that will be a good news for the market. And you also take a look, S&P also went up today. You see, 0.48%. Let's take a look PPI data. You see the PPI data on your screen, the historical data in today's release as well. The forecast was 2.2%, and the actual came exactly 2.2%. So they just met the forecast. Historically, last month, the actual came lower than the forecast, and that was good news as well. We'll take a look CPI data in a bit, but the PPI data was good for the market so far. Now moving on, last 5 days, Nvidia up 2.06%, last 1 month 6.23%, and last 6 months is already 86%. It will be interesting to see if Nvidia can make all-time high before the earning release. I'll make another video sometime tomorrow and we'll take a deep dive how high Nvidia can go before the earning release. So regarding my position, I did not buy any Nvidia stock today because I already bought yesterday, so there was no reason to buy more today unless Nvidia goes down below 885. But it didn't happen today. Now let's take a look technical charts. You see 90-day hourly interval chart for Nvidia on your screen. It's good to see that MACD started going up now. It was going in parallel to the zero line yesterday and Friday. Now showing up is going up. That's a good sign. It tells that Nvidia is trying to build some momentum to go further up. Let's take a look 30 minutes chart. In a 30 minutes chart, same story, but it's better than hourly interval chart, so it's going further up in the 30 minutes chart. So in the short term, Nvidia is doing comparatively better. Now let's take a look RSI. So RSI in a 30 minutes chart is a 61. It's going higher than yesterday. So it's trying to go further up and we still have some momentum to go further up. That's a good thing. And the hourly interval chart, I guess it should be around 60 as well. Let's take a look. So an hourly interval chart is also at 60. So no difference between 30 minutes chart and hourly interval chart. Now let's take a look Fibonacci levels. So now I have the Fibonacci levels. Nvidia at this point is at 913. It's still trading between these two levels, 919 and 885. That's what we predicted yesterday. On Friday and Monday, it's also traded between these two levels. So that's perfectly aligned with our yesterday expectation. Now it will be interesting to see if Nvidia can break 919 tomorrow. So I have the feeling that if Nvidia goes up tomorrow, it might face some pullback from 919 at least one time. And also the CPI data is due tomorrow, so it will depend on that data as well if the market goes up or goes down. So as we looked yesterday, Nvidia stock chart was above the middle line, and I made a comment that it should go further up because it was trying to build some momentum. At this point, it's touching the upper band and it's trying to go further up, but the gap between the upper band and the lower band is getting smaller, and that tells that there might be some consolidation happens tomorrow. We'll see what happens. And this might be due to the CPI data due tomorrow. So market was a little cautious today after hours. Now let's talk about news regarding Nvidia. So you see another price target increase for Nvidia. Wells Fargo maintains overweight on Nvidia and raises the price target to 1150. So as we noticed yesterday, more and more analysts are increasing the price target just before the earnings. Oh wow, there is one more. CICC adjusts price target on Nvidia to 1000 from 870. So another news that says Nvidia stock is drifting, but Wall Street is excited about earnings. So that's true, right? We all are excited regarding Nvidia earnings, and market can go either side after earnings. The expectation is Nvidia should go up after earnings. One thing we need to focus or we need to pay attention is the supply. So see that high performance memory chip supply to stay tight in 2024. So that can change the equation sometime next quarter or Q4, right? If the supply goes further bad, that might impact the revenue. And then companies will try to cut revenue guidance in the next earnings. So one good news for the long term is, another chip company is being built in Germany, $11 billion, and the production would start from 2027. So this means that in the long term, the chip demand is high. So at the same time, you see this news, China is trying to build their local chip manufacturing facilities there and urging chip makers to stay away from Nvidia. Let's see how successful they can be, but at this point, I do not see it as a threat in the short term. We'll have to see what China comes up with to challenge Nvidia chip. I think that's all about all the news regarding Nvidia. Let's take a look other AI stocks. You see the AI stocks on the left side of your screen. So most of them are green. So this tells that this was a good day for all the AI stocks except SoundHound. That's negative 3.99%. So that's okay for SoundHound because SoundHound cannot go up every day, right? We took a look yesterday, SoundHound did a good job, and also on Friday, SoundHound was up. Starting with SMCI, the major increase 5.06%, and then Avago 3%, and then Palantir 2.39%, AMD 1.7%, Nvidia 1.06%, and so on. I hope this positive momentum continues tomorrow and day after tomorrow as well after the CPI data. Now let's take a look CPI data and try to make some assessment. So I'll show you the CPI data overall, historical versus the forecast. The forecast for this month is 3.4%, and last month also was 3.4%. The last 4 months, you see, actuals came higher than the forecast. So my expectation is the inflation would come 3.4%. That will meet the forecast, and that will be a good news for the market. Now I'm showing you the core CPI. The core CPI forecast is 3.6%. The actual last month was 3.8%. This is tricky, right? I'm guessing on the core CPI side, maybe we can see 3.7% or so, a little higher than the forecast, but that's my opinion. Let's see what happens. Last four cycles in the core CPI, the actuals came higher than the forecast. If it just meets the forecast this time, market will take it as a welcome news. And if you take a look overall trend, CPI and also the core CPI, it has been trending low, but last few months is flat. It's not going down any further. And that's not a good sign for Fed to do the rate cut. So that's all for today. So if I summarize today's discussion, tomorrow CPI data is very important. In my understanding, CPI data should not come higher than the forecast, and the core CPI data may be a little higher than the forecast. But overall, I see the CPI data would not negatively impact the market tomorrow. So I expect Nvidia go up tomorrow and also the other AI stocks. So one thing I missed today, I'm thinking I should have bought more Nvidia stock today because Nvidia went down to 890 and I don't think I will get another chance tomorrow or day after. But let's see if it goes below 890, probably I'll place another buy for Nvidia for this week. Thank you so much for watching. Talk to you more tomorrow. Take care.